On this week's episode of Damsels in the DMs.
Dear Damsels, one of my closest friends who I've known since before college has been struggling to end a relationship that's been challenging and full of red flags. I don't want to be like, get out of that mess because I want to be sensitive to her situation, but I'm also running out of ideas. Sincerely, Busy without a boyfriend. This message is intended as a reminder that we are not licensed professionals, not psychiatrists or psychologists. If you have a serious problem, please seek professional help. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255.
There's some damsels in the DM.
Yes, queen.
Tell us what's the vibe. There's some damsels in the DM. Please tell us what's the vibe. DMs, yeah we see them, yeah we read them. DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Damsels in the DMs. I'm Lauren.
I'm Aash.
And I'm Alejandro. Hello.
What's up, you guys?
Not much. Oh my goodness. How was the spring transition for everyone coming along?
You know, I don't know what's up with, I don't want to start with a negative actually, so I feel like I'm going to try to word this a better way. But somebody up in the universe has been pulling some strings here and there to make my life a little bit different than what I'm used to. For example, I feel like my motivation, and I don't know if this is just because now we're a couple months into 2022 and, you know, we're in like the end of April, my motivation is kind of decreasing and I'm trying to find ways to switch things up and not like be in a rut with myself. And then also, I don't know if you guys have been feeling this, but I posted on my story and a lot of people responded saying they feel the same way, but the days feel extra long.
Okay, Ash, so like a couple things. One, I agree. Something's going on with the universe. I have already cried 3 times this week and we're at Wednesday. And so I have a new acronym and it's called ABC, Always Be Crying.
I love it.
Thank you so much. So anyway, that I agree with you. Something's going on with the universe. I'm totally okay, everybody. Like, don't worry. Something's going on. Number 2, I thought it was really sad when you thought the days were long because I feel like they're so short. Like, I feel like there's not enough hours in the day to do everything. So like, I'm curious if you could like elaborate.
Okay, for example, I wake up at 6 in the morning. Okay,
Why
usually
do you wake up at 6 in the morning?
because I want to get ahead of myself and I want to be productive. And I was waking up.
Okay,
at
but
6 in the
let
morning.
me say something to you. If you think the days are long, shorten them.
No,
Get later.
okay.
Easy enough solution.
So the days have only been feeling long this week. Like we're only on Wednesday right now, but Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, today, days have been feeling extra long. And I changed something this week because I have been feeling very sleepy. I've been waking up a little later. And so last week, I've just only been waking up at 6 a.m. since maybe like February. And the reason why is because I don't feel like I have enough hours in the day. And I feel like I was being rushed to do everything and get everything done. And I just have like way too much going on. So let me wake up, 2 hours earlier. This week, I have been trying to wake up at 6, cannot for the life of me wake up. I'll get up at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. And I remember like 3 hours ago, I was like, it's only noon. Like, how is it only noon? Like it should, like right now it's only 3. I feel like it should be 7 p.m. and I'm done with my day.
That's wild. Okay, so I'm kind of in the middle. Or no, actually, I think I side with Lauren on this because I feel like time has been zooming by. But I also feel like maybe what you're experiencing, Ash, could be residual effects of the full moon. I feel like
Yeah.
a week before and a week after the full
Oh,
moon.
the full moon was so cool though. I felt like
It
a
was
werewolf.
so pretty.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
so cool. I definitely felt like I was coming out of a Harry Potter film at that moment, just looking up at the sky, seeing the like clouds and like just the fullness of it. But I
do
think
have
like
a really quick side note on this. When there was a full moon, I went on a hike with Ernie. And when I was on this hike, a coyote ran by me, and I was like, it's a wolf, like the full moon. Like I at first I thought it was a dog because they're really little, you know, but
Yeah.
coyotes will like attack and eat small animals. So like just imagine me like scooping up Ernie and like power walking with this damn full moon, like after seeing the coyote. Anyway, small little tidbit. Please resume.
No, I feel like, yeah, I think, just dive into these weird moments that you're having. And like, as unfortunate as it may be to feel like, oh shit, like, where's the time slash why is it moving so slowly? I think those are really cool moments to like, you know, get an understanding of why you're feeling those feelings. And
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations because a bunch of people were feeling this way and were relating it to the full moon and saying that I've been affected by the full moon. Like you can be affected in whatever way, and the way that I'm being affected is I'm just feeling super drowsy, super unmotivated, and the days are just dragging out.
yeah.
And hopefully it'll change, next week is a new week, tomorrow is a new day, and I'm hoping that it will change. But it just like I've been taking naps throughout the day. I was dozing off earlier. I just because I haven't been feeling motivated, I called my parents and I called my brother. And my brother suggested that I do this program that really helped him. Like inner engineering. It's by Sadhguru. I don't know if you like follow like the spiritual journey and that kind of path, but he did this program that like it kind of works on your inner engineering, so making sure that no matter what your outside or external circumstances are, your internal one is I will be okay. And I think, Lauren, we've had this conversation, like I'll be okay, like if this happens I'll be okay, and if that happens I'll be okay, but like at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. And so I started the first lesson today. It was right before we're filming this, and I kept dozing off, and I was like, I need to walk around the space and like try to wake up. But I'm like, damn, like this is just so counterproductive, being so sleepy and then trying to listen to the sky while sitting on the floor with like, your legs crossed and your palms facing up. I'm like, I cannot be in this.
Well, trees grow their roots amid the storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like as I mentioned, this week has been ABC for me, always be crying. And I will say like the routine has been really helpful because it does just like center you and kind of put you back on track and make you feel like I don't want to call it a distraction, but in a way, it just like it makes you sort of feel like I still have something to return to every day. And even though these other things are going on in the world, I have something to keep myself centered and grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the only thing that you have control over.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have control over me being sleepy. I don't have control over, like my body's chemical imbalances, but I do have control over getting up out of bed, making my bed, doing my journaling, going for a walk, and working out.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help but wonder, are there any projects or new conversations or people in your life that you are excited about or things that you are looking forward to?
Well, yes, there has been a little bit of an update in my dating life, if this is what you're referring to.
Yes. Let's get to
Um,
the tea.
Open to anything. I mean,
let's
my
get
goodness, go.
let's get to the tea. So
Let's get to the tea. Come on, give the people what they want to
close
hear.
episode that we had, I kind of told you about problems that I was facing with the guy that I was dating. And last week I kind of had a realization that I need to get rid of any negative. Like I'm not going to hold on to my dad told me this. He was like, you don't go picking in garbage. Like you don't go looking through trash to find, what you need from life. No. So I'm not going to go and pick through the garbage that's already in my life to find a whole new meaning. I'm going to get rid of that garbage and find my meaning internally. And I was having this thought when I was showering. I was like, dang, like I just wasn't treated right in this little 2-month fiasco that I had with someone that I thought was like probably my person. Um, I know we have a love bombing episode, and now I can speak to love bombing because I was love bombed, completely love bombed. And
And we recorded it too early.
We did. We recorded it way too early when I was being love bombed, but I didn't realize that I was being love bombed. But what happened is that, this person wanted his cake or wanted to have a cake and eat it too, where sometimes, yeah, sure, go ahead. You can have your cake and eat it too, but not when you're hurting other people. And this person found a way to make it convenient for him to be single when he had someone else or other options that he wanted to explore, but then be exclusive when there was no one else to explore. And he went on a trip to go see a girl. And yes,
No, you didn't tell me that.
yeah. So the conversation, I mean, this person's out of my life and this is a dating podcast, really. So I'll just be brutally honest with what happened. We had a conversation. It was going really well. I definitely thought
Look at Alejandro sipping his tea.
Yeah, I need some tea right
it's
now
hot.
too.
It's steaming.
So we had a conversation, like, okay, so it was going so well that I thought that we were moving towards boyfriend and girlfriend. And I called my brother up, I remember early on, and I was like, hey, just in case I all of a sudden have a boyfriend, don't be surprised. Like, this is where it's heading. Like, we are moving a little bit too fast, but I really like this person and everything about this person feels right. And he was like, okay, as long as you know that it is moving a little too fast, I can't, like, as long as you're self-aware about that and you think this is right, then sure, I'd love to, see where this takes you and eventually meet this person. Told everyone about him except for my parents, because I don't tell I'm smart. I don't tell my parents about anyone unless they are so serious that we're like, we know we're gonna get married,
That's smart. I think that's a real smart decision.
Yeah, because my parents are heavily involved in my life. They're Indian parents. If I tell them that I'm dating someone, it has to be someone that I'm ready to get married, because our culture is, oh, you're dating someone, let's set up the date. When's the engagement?
I guess they don't listen to this podcast.
My dad actually asked me, he was like, so what's a podcast? I want to listen and support. I was like, no, you don't need to. You don't need to do that. It's not parent friendly. There's things on there that you're probably not going to agree with and you're probably not gonna like. So like, why just, why go about that? So I definitely thought we were going to be in a relationship, and I definitely thought we were exclusive until like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago. He called me and he was like, hey, this has just been on my mind, but like, the way that I love, like, I love, and I feel like I always jump into a relationship, and I go so fast that I crash and burn a relationship, and you're too special. I don't want to do that with you. So what are ways that we can, take this slow? And I was like, I completely agree. Like, we went to a wedding 3 weeks after meeting each other. Like, we went to a wedding together. Like, that's moving pretty fast. So I was like, I completely agree. Maybe we just, we slow it down and we hang out, not every day, but we'll hang out on the weekends. By the way, he ignores this whole thing about only seeing each other on the weekends. He still love bombs me and wants to hang out all the time. I'm like, you wanted some space in the relationship, but like, whatever. I'm going to take all the time that you give me. 2 weeks ago, he calls, we are like on the phone, and he's like, oh yeah, like, I have all these trips coming up. I'm going here, then I'm going to here, and then I'm going to like whatever town. I was like, why are you going, like, this town? Like, why are you going to this town? And he was like, oh, like, to, meet some, one of my friends, this buddy of mine. She's a gamer. Like, I've met her through, like, during COVID, like, we played a lot of video games together. I'm gonna like be at her ranch. I'm probably not gonna get any service, so you're probably not gonna hear from me
Oh
for
hell
like a
no!
week
What?
or whatever. And I was like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I've been in many toxic relationships and many shady relationships. I know shady people. And so I was like, hold on, like, this doesn't add up. Like, he was trying to fast forward through it and make it sound so casual that I won't ask any questions. And I was like, hold on. Like, my radar just went off, and I was like, you mean to tell me it's two things are fucking weird. You're going to go see this girl that you've never met. Like, you're telling me you've never even FaceTimed her. You don't know what she looks like. He said, no. And I was like, okay, so she could be a catfish. She could be a serial killer. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And then number two, you're flying to this place to go see a girl. Like, that's odd. Like, we're dating, aren't we? Like, wouldn't it be odd if I flew out to go see a guy that I've never met and like
goes to a ranch to play video games with somebody that they don't know?
So I was like, I'm not like, when I cannot have a conversation, I'll shut down and I'll be like, I gotta go. Like, I can't have this conversation. So I hang up the phone. I don't hear from him that night. I don't hear from him the next day. In the afternoon, I text him and I'm like, hey. And he was like, hey, babe, how are you? And I'm like, honestly, I'm in a really bummy mood. Like, I'm not doing okay. And he was like, yeah, no, I understand. I totally understand. And I would feel hurt by, that conversation as well. And I was like, yeah, I really don't feel okay. And he made me he like reassured me and made me feel better, and he was like, like, it's nothing to worry about, you're such a special human being, I love you, but not in that way. Like, he just, it was like, I love you, like, as a person, not like I'm in love with you type of conversation. It was like, I love you and I care about you, and our relationship is way too special to text about it. Like, I'd love to come over and talk about it in person whenever, like, whenever you feel. And I was like, okay, tonight, like, come over. And in that conversation, he kind of made me anxious, but he kind of made me feel like, I don't know why I thought this, that everything was okay and that maybe we're going to have an exclusivity conversation. Maybe this is just a buddy that he's going to go see, like, maybe he's going to have this conversation about we're exclusive. I'm just going to go see a friend. Everything's good. Do you want to be my girlfriend? I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why I thought that was going to be the conversation. He comes over and we're talking, and I was like, so tell me about this, like, this trip that you're going on. And he was like, yeah, it's this girl, like, her name's not really this, it's that. Like, he lied to me about it. And he was like, I didn't really know how to tell you about it on the phone. And I was like, okay. And then I was getting weird,
Why would
really
he lie
weird
about the
vibes.
name so you wouldn't
I
like
don't
Instagram
know.
picture?
I do not know. And
Wait, you said you were feeling vibes though. What describe that? What were you feeling?
I was feeling the same type of energy that I felt during when I was with my ex, when he was cheating on me and he was lying about cheating on me. It's that same energy. I pick up that shit. So I'm like, okay, so you're gonna go there. Are you gonna hook up with her? Like, what's the situation? He was like, I don't know, maybe. When I tell you, my heart was ripped out of my freaking chest. Like, I thought this guy was gonna have the "Do you want to be my girlfriend?" conversation somehow.
He
I
said,
was
I
so
don't know,
blindsided. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And I was like, what? And he was like, remember that conversation that I try to have about, like, like, needing, like, not taking, like, taking it slow and, like, not, speeding into it. And I'm like, yeah, I thought it was like, at least we're still exclusive and, like, we're working on our relationship slowly and not, like, diving into it. Not that you want to see other people. And he was like, I don't know. I just had this spiritual, like, connection to this ranch. She showed me, like, the picture of it, and I just had a spiritual, like, calling. And I was like, what are you
Oh my
talking about, bro?
God.
Like, this is, like, shady.
wait, so had he ever met her before? Or was that a lie too?
No.
So he
Never
met
met her
her
before.
online, they played video
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
and now he thinks he might hook up with her?
Yeah.
That's so
But you know what he said to reassure me? She's 2 inches taller than me, and I'm not really into girls who are taller than me. So I probably won't even hook up with her anyways.
Oh my God. Like, I can't even believe a bonehead would say something like that. Sounds so stupid.
Why
How
are men so
stupid.
much worse than I expect them to be?
And then, like, that week, I was, like, having, like, really bad anxiety, and I was like, I just don't feel good about this. I
And
don't
you
feel good
didn't
about
talk
this.
to
But
him the whole week, right?
so the week that he told me that, I did talk to him and we did see each other. I
But
slept
not
over.
while he's at
Like,
the ranch.
no. So then I went to Chicago that weekend after he told me that. And then that Sunday, he was leaving. And that Monday, I was coming back from Chicago. And so Sunday he left, and I didn't hear from him for a week. So Sunday to Thursday, he was at this ranch. Thursday, he goes somewhere else for a bachelor party. And I didn't hear from him for a week. And I'm like, actions speak louder than words, dude. Like, you said you're not going to lose me, and you said that you love me, and you said that, like, you care about me so much and this and that, but, like, you're MIA, bro. Like, you've ghosted basically. Day before yesterday, he texted me saying, "Hey, stranger."
Ah!
I am not going to be responding to your text, bro. Like, "Hey, stranger, if you really cared about me, bro, you would literally call me up and be like, hey, like, like, I'm so sorry, but this is what's going on." Or text me, be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry that I was MIA and that I didn't reach out to you. How are you doing?" Not, "Hey, stranger, like, you up?" No.
He is not worth any of your time or any of your thoughts.
Audacity. He has the audacity to tweet, "Love is weird," after
Oh.
I don't respond to him.
Oh my God. I cannot. That's no.
It is weird.
Love is weird. I'm sorry, but you made it weird, my guy. It didn't have to be weird. And you know what? I was helping him memorize his lines, and he gave me his laptop. And in the background, so he had his lines there, and in the background, his messages were open. I'm not someone who's going to click on it and do, I don't invade privacy. But all I saw was like a message to like this name, and I saw a message that said, "You're gorgeous," from him. And then I look at the name, and the name obviously photographic memory will stick to me, and I'll go and search who this person is. Found out it is the person that whose ranch this person was, my guy was going to.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Like, you're giving me your laptop, your messages are open right there. Like the screens were like half and a like 3/4 and a quarter. The quarter I could see the name of the person and what you've sent.
This was a trash story. Like, oh, ugh.
Absolute trash. And it's crazy because trash comes in different forms. Like they don't have to straight up like look. I mean, I could have done better probably.
Yeah. Well, just thinking back to like he called you like while we were doing things together, he'd be like, "Hey babe, like I was thinking Thai for dinner, like or we could like have wine and make dinner tonight." Like, I mean, it was not exactly that, but like,
But it was that. And Lauren was
Yeah.
like, "Do you have a boyfriend?"
yeah, I was like, "Do you have a boyfriend that I don't know about?" Because I was like, literally, we host a dating podcast together. I feel like I should know. And like, but the way he called her, like, you're absolutely right, Ash. You were for sure love bombed.
Dude, so love bombed. It's nuts. But you know what's crazy? We've only been on one date. He's so lazy that he couldn't even take me on any other dates. Like our dates, and I should have seen this as a red flag, would be like, come over and like let's cook. And then, do you want to read this pilot with me? Do you want to help me learn lines? Do you want to do this for me? Do you want to do that for me? Like, stop using me, bro.
You were a line reader
Like,
with
I'm
benefits.
dumb enough to fall for that, but now I'm like, it's a learning experience, like it wasn't a failed relationship. I just learned from it.
All right, guys, before we continue with the show, I wanted to talk a little bit about Noom. Noom uses the latest in behavioral science to empower people to take control of their health for good through a combination of psychology, technology, and human coaching on their platform to help millions of users meet their personal health and wellness goals. A lot of people face pressures to change themselves to fit other people's expectations, and the more freeing solution is to find things that work for you. Noom understands that everyone's weight loss is unique, and what works for someone else doesn't mean it'll work for you. That's why Noom's approach adapts to your lifestyle. It's flexible and focuses on progress, not perfection, allowing you to work towards goals at a pace that's comfortable for you. Noom Weight makes it easy to start your weight loss journey and stay on track, with personalized lessons to help you gain confidence and practical knowledge, one-on-one coaching, and a cognitive behavioral approach that teaches you how to be mindful of your habits. So start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/believe. Again, that's Noom, NOOM.com/believe. BLEAV.
With that happening to you, you doing your routine?
Girl, I've been on top of my routine. I learned from this because I made an actual like game plan about like how to keep my mental health, my physical health, and like my career still a priority, even when shit's happening that I don't want to be happening, even when I'm upset. Like, surely I was really upset by this experience. Last week was probably like not the worst week of my life, but honestly, like my anxiety was so bad that it was so hard for me to like be productive and do
Plus,
things.
you've
So
been in like toxic relationships before, so I'm sure that this felt like PTSD of that situation.
yeah,
Especially like where you're at a place now where you can like recognize signs and things like that.
it honestly was like, why does this keep happening to me? It's like, why do people take advantage of me like that? Like, I treated this guy so well. Like, he wasn't feeling well, so I went to Erewhon, I got him this. I went to CVS, I got him this. Like, he wasn't my partner, he was my child. Like, I treated him so freaking well. I took such good care of him, and he used that, and it's like, well, I don't want to change my personality, but like, I also don't want guys to take advantage of me.
No. Looking
So, I
back
don't know.
on it, like, what do you think that you could have noticed, like, for people who are listening to try to avoid like a situation like this happening?
Probably the love bombing. I probably could have noticed that it's not normal for someone to call me this much and FaceTime me this much. And you know what? I journaled about it 28th of February. I journaled about I'm getting weird energy, like weird feelings about this. And I made a pros and cons list. the thing is, if I need to make a pros and cons list about somebody, they are not worth it.
Yeah. On his end, I feel like to me, what the biggest red flag was like anybody who's willing to leave you and like take a break in that way. I don't think, especially that early on. I think it's different if you're
Yeah.
looking at a relationship that's like 3 years together and you decide to take like a little breather, whatever. But like if you have only been together 2 months and you're saying that you need to like go have a week-long break to like that just seems very sketchy to me. And I think even if you are gonna like go down on the slow things down period, whatever, like that shouldn't mean like, oh, let's also date other people. And I think that people just need to be really clear about what they want. And like, if he was saying slow things down, but he meant see other people, then he should have just said see other people.
So what I could learn from this now is I can't control how other people act and what other people do. But in the beginning, I should have been like, so what are you looking for?
Mm.
I didn't have to because he showed me that he wants a relationship. The way that he treated me and the way that he wanted to hang out with me all the time. Like there was no games. There was zero games. That's why I didn't have to be like, what are you looking for? I kind of automatically just knew.
But
Is there a
maybe,
time frame that has to happen? Because I feel like I've had conversations with other friends about that, where like they want to have that conversation, and then sometimes it goes awry because maybe the other person isn't even thinking that that's like a topic that needs to come up. But yeah, what is the time frame
Yeah.
that is okay to discuss?
Alejandro, were you saying when do you like say that? Like what you're like, so what are you looking for?
Yeah, is that like a first date thing or conversation, or is that like
Yeah.
3 dates in, or just like I don't know. I just wonder like what is the appropriate time
The
frame?
thing is, like, I don't want it to get too far because I don't want to get attached. Like, I'm very easy at getting attached to people. So I don't want to get attached to someone and then they be like, oh, just something casual. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to like let go of you because I really love spending time with you.
Yeah,
So sure, I'll go ahead with the casual.
or waste your time because you're always
Or
talking about like looking for your person.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you are gonna have the hottest girl summer of all time.
I
So
definitely am.
I
I
feel
mean, I'm
for
already
you.
dating, guys. I already like have been dating and I jumped into something else. Like I'm good.
You jumped into something else.
I downloaded those apps real quick when he said, I want to go see this girl in this place. I was like, all right, well, I'm getting back on Raya. Bye. I'm gonna find more quality people, I hope, than you.
I mean, words are powerful, so I'm happy that you're manifesting all these great things to come.
I actually made a list of qualities that I'm looking for and a list of things that I don't want.
All right, let's hear
Um,
it.
Yeah.
You want to?
Yeah, we want to.
Someone who isn't negative and doesn't complain a lot, someone who takes care of themselves hygienically, physically and mentally, someone who's constantly working on improving themselves, someone who is in therapy, which he is, but he's not doing things outside of therapy to work on himself. Someone who likes to read, someone who reads a lot of like help, like self-help books, someone who likes to meditate, someone who likes to be social because I am a social person. Someone who will get along with all of my friends without me worrying, like, is
You
this
said that he
person
didn't
gonna
like to be social, right?
He doesn't like to be social.
Well, there you go. Wouldn't have worked.
There we go. Yeah. Um, someone who likes to cook and like, spend quality time together, which he liked to do that, but it was more like I'm getting something out of you. Like, come over, I'll cook for you if you help me with a self tape.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want you're not looking for something from me except for like a solid relationship and a partner. Like I'm not here to give you a service. He was a very negative person when I think back at it. I remember I journaled about how negative he is.
I think that's really powerful that you made that assessment, or that you understand that those are one of the things that you want to steer clear from, because I feel like, as we've spoken about before, words have meaning, words have significant power.
Mhm.
And anyone who is so quick to just like articulate some sort of negative thought on the regular is just, it's overwhelming. And
Yeah.
I don't understand how people can operate that way, because no, it's just not fun. And it's not fun to be around, because it's like when we're trying to operate on like a higher frequency to where we can appreciate everything that is taking place around us, regardless of, the outcome,
Mhm.
we still find some way to celebrate the beauty within those
Right.
moments. But then
Right.
the misalignment comes in when someone is like just constantly just like shoveling their shit onto you, thinking that that's what is building good rapport. Like that makes
Yeah.
no fucking sense. But it's
No.
good. I'm so happy to hear that that was like one of the first things that you mentioned in your list, which I think is so admirable and so important for
Thank you.
everyone who's listening. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really valuable.
This kind of reminds me of the episode where we talked about like applying characteristics onto a relationship that might not actually exist, or like ignoring red flags, because it does sound like your gut was trying to tell you, like between like the fact that you found in your journaling like that he was negative, that you had like red flags about the love bombing. And I mean, maybe that's just a good message for people who are listening to like really listen to yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
if things feel like they're showing up and they're a red flag early on. This was the relationship OCD episode. That's what I'm thinking about.
Mm.
And I guess that it's like a matter of separating relationship OCD from like actual red flags that are rising. And maybe you did feel like, you were just being nervous or like making sure that it was the right fit for you, but maybe there were actually signs of things that you needed to take in.
Yeah. And it is true. Listen to yourself. Like this, my morning pages, this literally holds like my truest self. Like I will journal about my truest thoughts and it holds like my truest self. Like if I have any doubts about someone, it is in this book. Lauren, you weren't. I'm just kidding.
Asshole.
I think it's interesting too, like giving the benefit of the doubt to someone that I feel I'm guilty of that. And I feel like sometimes it's challenging because it's like you want to see, well, I feel like there are some who want to see the more positive side in people. And there are those of us who choose to kind of overlook certain red flags or overlook certain tendencies that a person may fall into. And just yeah, out of the hope that like you could be wrong, or just ignoring that like gut instinct. But those gut instincts are there for a reason,
Yeah.
and listening to them and becoming more in tune with that is, I think, a really powerful way to continue moving forward and finding the relationships that are going to actually build you up rather than
Mm-hmm.
cause you stress and perpetuate symptoms of anxiousness that aren't even going to help you in the long run. I mean,
No, it's just
But
unnecessary pain.
right. And something that I think, Lauren, you always talk about is making sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to build you up or add value to your life rather than take away from. It's hard to hear, but it's also exciting to know that you have been able to find within yourself the answers that you need in order to continue moving forward in a more positive direction. And shit, just living your most authentic, badass self.
Thank you.
gut
I'm
instincts are
I'm ready to have the best hot girl summer, bro. I'm so ready.
Hell yeah.
Well, speaking of hot girl summer, let's help today's letter writer have the best hot insert pronoun here summer. Dear Damsels, one of my closest friends who I've known since before college has been struggling to end a relationship that's been challenging and full of red flags. I'm proudly single and always ready to mingle, but to kind of help her out of a stressful situation, I'm trying to lead by example by enjoying singledom and time to build my business. Since each one of you seems full of advice and really business savvy, I'm wondering if there's a better way to encourage my best friend to focus on things that will make her feel whole and like she's headed in the right direction. I don't want to be like out of that mess because I want to be sensitive to her situation, but I'm also running out of ideas. Sincerely, busy without a boyfriend.
I love this.
Oh,
Ugh.
you got a boyfriend. Well, I mean, keep doing you. I feel like being a model for the excellence that you are living is a really good way to kind of be there for your friend, even if you don't feel like you have the right words to advise her in a really sticky situation.
What I've
Mm.
learned from my experiences and my friends who are same situation, they're trying to get out of toxic relationships, and also from my toxic relationship, you no matter what anybody else says and does and shows you, you're not going to get out of it unless you want to yourself. Like nothing is going to make you want to do it more than yourself. And that's just what it is. Like you are being such a good friend, really trying your best. And I think regardless, you should be that, that role model to your friend, but it's going to be really hard for them to get out of something that they don't want to get out of.
Yeah.
Or if they do want to get out of it, they have to do it themselves. It can't be something that you're showing them, or it's really difficult.
And it's not really your job to set the
Yeah.
example for your friends. Like, it sounds like what you're doing is already a good example by just enjoying your single life. Like, I don't think you need to switch anything to provide a good example for your friend. I think just by being there and showing that you support them, like, is being a good friend. And I would also, and this is something that I feel like I've been thinking about lately, like, only offer advice that's warranted, because sometimes I think, like, when people are in toxic relationships, like, we want to shake them. And sometimes we're like, maybe I just have to give tough love because that's the only way to get through to them. Sometimes that can be really toxic and also put them off from you as a friend and put them more towards the partner because they feel defensive or protective of the partner. So I think, like, if that person is complaining to you about the relationship, like, you should just be a listening ear. And if it gets to a point where it's so toxic that you must intervene, try to do it in a way that, like, you're enlisting somebody who's really close to them that could make a difference, like a parent maybe, or a therapist, or like a sister or a cousin or a brother, somebody who's going to be like, so close that it doesn't feel like you're overstepping your boundary. Because I've personally gotten burned before when I've tried to help a friend out. I told a friend one time that their partner was cheating on them, and I got dropped as a friend, and they stayed with the significant other. And it wasn't only until later, like years later, that they ended the relationship, that they came and apologized to me and, understood the circumstance. So I just have learned from that experience that you really have to be careful. I'm somebody that would like to know, if I were in a similar situation, like, what was going on, but not everybody is. So I would just really try to be careful and sensitive in navigating this situation.
Agreed. Sensitivity seems to be the best way to keep fulfilling the friendship. Because, yeah, as you said, Ash, like, that person has to take it into their own hands, whichever direction they want to go, and up to them to figure out how to do that. I mean, yeah.
But best of luck, my dear letter writer. Thank you for writing in. We appreciate you sharing this with us, and we admire what a good friend you are.
And we hope that your friend does get out of that sticky situation, and find someone who is worthy of her love and her energy and her attention.
Yeah.
Keep being a badass and running your business.
Yeah, you go do that.
And if you want to have your friend write to us, we'd be happy to advise them. So
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Damsels in the DMs.
Until next time.
It's going down in the DMs.
Bye.
DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.